is it?
Dave, it's your Idaho Central app here. Any chance you're missing a debit card? Let's get that taken care of for you. With ICCU's card control, you can turn any card off with the tap of your finger.
You got it.
And back on again. Ow, 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 ow. The closest Idaho Central Credit Union branch is in your pocket.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. We're going all the way so you can score more for your trade-in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV today. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
It's time for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the YouTube chat or Facebook comments, and we'll include the best ones on the show. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now let's head out and join BJ Rains for the Postgame Show from Bronco Nation News.
Well, it all came down to a free throw in the final seconds, 1.1 seconds to be exact, and it goes Boise State's way as Owen Larson's free throw rims off and Boise State hangs on for a dramatic 83-82 win here at the Cayman Islands. We're joined right now by Javan Buchanan, the star of the day, the star of the island down here. Heck of a game, man. 28 points. That had to be a lot of fun for you.
Yeah, it was super fun. I'm just glad we ended up getting the win. I was on the free throw line telling them, short, but those kids are good. So, yeah, I'm glad we got the win.
Yeah, that's not the 150th ranked team at Ken Palm.
No, definitely not.
No, they hit some shots. I mean, this was people that didn't watch this game are just going to see the score and say, oh, Boise State struggled with a bad team, whatever. Like that. That's going to be a team that's going to win a lot of games.
Yes. I think they're going to win a lot of games in their league, especially.
Tell us just for you about just what it was like, obviously, taking over offensively. I mean, you got going early and never stopped. For you to really get going offensively the way you did, what was kind of the mindset for you tonight?
The same mindset every game, just going in and trying to give my all, give a pop off the bench, because I think the bench guys, if we can bring energy off the bench, that just helps the team even more. And just happened to be my day. So, yeah, I mean, that's how basketball works sometimes. I'm going to put some clips on here, but, I mean, you just took over. You wanted the ball. You were backing guys down. You were hitting threes. I mean, just how much fun was that second half? But take us through your mindset here, really wanting to be aggressive and really kind of will your team to this win here. Yeah, it was really fun. I mean, hats off to the coaches. They were drawing up stuff for me. They really trusted me down the stretch. So, a lot of that goes to them as well. But like I said, I just came in, tried to be an energy giver, and it happens like that. The three-point shot, was this something that I know you have it in you, but great take there with a minute to 5. That ended up being the game-winning bucket. But the three-point shot, you hit a couple of those tonight. I don't know what the final numbers were. But, is that something 4 of 8? I mean, you feel like that's the part of your game that can be a consistent thing all season? Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's the biggest thing me and Berto and Lex, we've all been working on. because I have a good shot, but obviously trying to get to the excellent level where I'm a threat from 3 all game. So, yeah, I believe in myself to knock those down for sure.
Well, tell us, again, I don't know where to start with this, but, I mean, they kept hitting shots. Was it just a back-and-forth game? I mean, it felt kind of like an NCAA tournament game or just a big-time tournament game. I mean, just what was that like trading blows back and forth with them?
Man, like they just weren't going away, and that's hats off to them, their coaching staff, their players. Like they're a young team, and for them to do that is really impressive. But I'm just glad. I'm really happy at how we hung in there and didn't give up, didn't fold, because there are a lot of times where there were a lot of possessions where we could have just folded and they were coming back. They had momentum, but we didn't. So I'm just happy for the guys. I
know Leon Rice talks about it's the 5 that finish the game, not that start the game, and starting is a whole deal. But coming off the bench, I mean, I'm sure you came here expecting to start. What's that been like adjusting to a role coming off the bench?
It's been amazing. I mean, you can't control how things go. And if we're winning, I mean, there's nothing to complain about. Obviously, everyone wants to start, but you got to do what you can with what you got. So
your all-around game, I mentioned the outside shooting, but being able to post guys up, being able to drive, I mean, how does somebody try to defend you?
I don't know. I hope they never find out.
But I mean, do you feel like you're a guy that can score at all the different levels and a guy that can be create, when they need a bucket, you can find a way to get it?
For sure. And they trust me with that too. So that's part of the reason they brought me here as well. So
how much fun are you having? I know it's 5-6 games in now, but you're to be a part of this program, and it looks like you're obviously going to be a major part here moving forward. But 28 points, just the factor that you did. I mean, you're helping them win. I mean, this has to be, like you said, why you came here, and you got to be having a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, it's just a blessing. That's the biggest thing I can nail it down to. It's just a blessing to be here, be in the Cayman Islands playing basketball. Last year I wouldn't have thought I'd be in this position, but it's just been awesome.
Well, I can tell you this: I was sitting next to the Boston College coaches who were scouting the game. And they said, "Where'd they get this kid?" I said, "NAIA." And the guy looked at me like I was crazy. And couldn't. Yeah,
that's usually how it goes.
I mean, so they're not going to be looking forward to it if they have to play it tomorrow night. But I think at one point, the first 15 points of the game were scored by you, Alvaro, or Dylan, all the 3 transfers. And then you throw in Julian Bowie having a nice game. I think the first 25 points were either newcomers or transfers. I mean, you guys can go pretty deep down this bench. We've seen guys, different guys contribute on different nights. I mean, you were winning the game at one point, like 36-33, when Tyson, Omar, and Andrew had combined for 2 points. I mean, what's that say about the depth of this team?
I mean, Coach said in the locker room is just every guy's going to have their night. Tonight was my night. Maybe tomorrow will be somebody else's night. That's just, I think, the beauty of this team. If you stop one person, that doesn't automatically shut us down, and I think that's really important, especially for the tournament.
What was your feeling when you was going to the free throw line?
I mean, they can all shoot, so I was nervous. But then on the second one, and Coach iced him, and he's a freshman, so I was like, uh-oh, I got to say something here. But, yeah, we honestly – I mean, he's a good shooter. It's kind of how the ball rolls.
And now you're playing for a championship tomorrow night. What's the feeling?
Amazing. Let's go win it.
Javan, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
28 points, heck of a game. Javan Buchanan, thanks for joining us. You just take it off, set it down. That's all right. Your head coach is going to come on in. Thanks again, man. Javan Buchanan, 28 points. What a game for him. We'll get Coach Rice in here shortly as Boise State takes down. I got a nice family here. Oh, your call, Coach. Your call. We'll take Coach Rice now. We'll take. You're gonna walk away like yesterday if I don't get you now. So we gotta. All right, Coach Rice joins us now. I know you have a very strong, healthy heart, Coach. Man, that game right there. Wow, 83. And for anyone that didn't watch that game and just saw the score, that team's going to win a lot of games.
Oh, my goodness.
That was an NCAA tournament type game. And I don't care if you won by 1 or by 25. I don't care what that does to the Ken Palm number right now. You look up at the end of the season, that's going to be a heck of a win.
Yeah, and, we had watched them a lot on film, and I kind of anticipated this matchup a little bit because they know how to win, and they have a winning culture. They're 5-1, and the one game they lost, they just kind of were a little out of sync and missed some shots early that they usually make. And I'm like, wow, this is a good team, and they create so many problems for you defensively. The way they can spread you out, everybody on that team. I told Javan in the pregame film, I said, hey, Javan, growing up, you played against a lot of guys like this in Indiana. These guys are Jimmy Chitwood, the way they can shoot, but they're also, how many tough twos did number 3 make where we guarded him?
Oh, I was going to say there were a lot of shots where guys' hands were right in their face, and they just hit tough shots. I mean, I don't think your defense was amazing, but it wasn't terrible by any means. They just hit some crazy shots at times.
And with our size, we got good size. And so they were hitting him over our big guy, over like Meadows 6'6", and he's guarding a 6'3" guy, and the guy's making it over him. And they were pretty well contested. You're like, well, if you contest it anymore, it's probably going to be a foul. And so hats off to South Dakota State. I know what a good job he does and how hard they are to play. And, that was a heck of a college basketball game, no doubt. Like you said, two teams that were playing at a pretty darn high level.
I should have not waited till the second question to do this, but happy birthday, Coach. A lot of folks on the chat are wishing you, they're all wishing you happy birthday on there. And I'm sure it was going to be a great one now. That's better. Couple things to get to. First of all, you call the timeout after the first free throw. Talk about that.
Yeah, I watch a lot of football. We're icing the kicker. Duryea and I were talking, and he goes, if he makes it, call timeout. And I'm like, oh, heck yeah, ice the kicker. Because, in my mind, too, I was like, that's a redshirt freshman at the free throw line.
Yeah.
And that first one looked so good. I'm like, okay, at least give him some time to think about it. We had 2 timeouts left. So I'm like, okay, give him some time to think about it. But nothing else, we had a play drawn up. So if he made it, we were going to try to throw length of the court to Tyson and get one. Sneak one, even with 1 second to go.
Yeah.
So there was nothing to lose by taking the timeout. But that first one looked so good and in rhythm that I wanted to break his rhythm a little bit. And I'm not saying that made him miss, but if I'm a shooter, standing at their line, I want that ball back quickly. I don't want to have to go. There's probably awkward silence in their huddle. Nobody wanted to talk to him. And we just want to make sure we blocked out, too. And then, so if you miss, they couldn't get a tip in for the win or something like that. But, hats off to, like I said, South Dakota State. Great competition. That's why you come to these things, to keep your team getting better. Because, when you play a good team, you kind of take stuff away from them that we can get better at. And I found some things that they did that, like, okay, their technique trying to avoid fouls is just a little bit better than ours. Their guys are a little more disciplined about not getting all the fouls called on them, and they got a couple down the stretch that they didn't get called. That one was a jump, and then we get a foul call on us on the last drive. That if our technique's just a little bit better, maybe they don't call it. And so you can learn from that. But we had some more people grow up tonight, and Javan and Julian, especially off the bench, those two. We got, Julian had a great look in his eye and was feeling it. And this is a good gym to shoot in. These smaller gyms can be a good gym.
Yeah.
And these rims are a little bit softer. And so I put him in because I just felt like, sometimes it's just luck and feel. And, I was like, this guy's going to make it. And they were really trying to pack it in on because we were causing problems inside. And then Javan, when I watched the tape yesterday, you look at it, and it was kind of a bad matchup, for us at the end of that game when they were playing 5 guards, basically. So he didn't get that many minutes. But I watched the film. I'm like, God, we got to work hard to give him more minutes. Yeah. And, it was, that's where your depth comes in because he was bouncy and fresh and felt good and played great.
28 points, and there, in the second half, he just took over and was, 4 for 8 from a 3-point range, and a couple of those threes were really when you really needed them. But then when you need a big bucket, a minute left in the game, you'd get it down to him down there. I mean, he was really unstoppable there for a while.
It was impressive because he was going against a big guy a lot, and that guy can cause. He's a big kid and can alter shots, and but the foul trouble. I had to ride Tyson for a long time. That's just we tried, get him out there, and then we had a turnover. It was almost costly. And at that point of the game, then you got to have your best guys out there that are comfortable with the system. But we're working through stuff, and, we got guys that are going to be able to step up and help us tomorrow. And, because you need 10 guys. And, we got some guys maybe didn't play a ton of, like Omar tonight. He only played 13 minutes because of foul trouble and fouling out. So we need him to have a big game in the championship. And because you can't put, we put Tyson out there for 35 and Al for 37. Now, Al's like a marathon runner. He can go forever. But, some of our younger guys grew up a little bit even more tonight, and that's going to help us.
Well, your first 15 points, Coach, were by your 3 transfers.
Yeah.
And then your first 25 were by either the 3 transfers or Julian.
Yeah.
I mean, you at one point were winning 36-33, and Tyson, Omar, and Andrew had 2 points.
yeah, that's a good sign because, without that depth, that team probably beat you by 10.
And we talked about it too, Coach. The free throws again. You go 13 of 14, and they go 18 of 25. I mean, it's really nice down the stretch for the most part to have to be able to make free throws.
Yeah, like I tell our guys, they don't win all the games, just the close ones.
Coach, you're playing for a championship tomorrow.
Yep.
And people can say whatever they want to about this tournament, the field, whatever. You got a chance to bring a trophy back, 3 wins back to Boise, and this is just you get a couple extra hours to refresh. But just for this team, how close they seem to be to have a chance tomorrow to wake up tomorrow and know they're playing for a championship, whatever trophy it may be. It's got to be a pretty good feeling.
Oh, it's a great feeling because, like you said, just because that if their name was Creighton, you'd be like, oh my God, they just beat. But because it's South Dakota State, but they're going to win 25 games, 23 games. They'll be probably, Summit League, contend for a championship in their conference and probably see them in the NCAA tournament. So it's a heck of a win. It's just, the purists maybe don't know how good they are. I mean,
you had to be at this game to see that.
If you saw this game, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that was a good basketball team.
That'll be a quad win too for sure when it's all said and done.
It probably will.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Coach.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Leon Rice with the – no, that's not me. Nope, not me. Appreciate it, Coach. Coach Leon Rice, somebody dropped their credit card, and that was not me. We're going to go from Coach Leon Rice straight to Alvaro Cardenas. He is going to join us here on the post-game show. Boise State, again, takes down South Dakota State 83-82. Alvaro, after I questioned you about your shooting, I was half expecting you to look over and flip me off after some of those makes today. I know early in the season, maybe a little bit of a struggle, but the last 2 games, and especially tonight, you finally got your shot going, and you guys obviously pulled out a massive win.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great win. And I'm not worried about what people are saying about my shot because I know the work that I put in. And, I mean, it was just we're 4 games in, you know what I mean? I didn't make my shots at the beginning, but I know, I mean, the work that I put in, they're going to go in. But, yeah, it was a great win. They're a good team, so good thing that we pulled it out.
Your competitiveness, we heard a lot about it coming in, but I thought it showed tonight how aggressive you were, how badly you wanted to take some of those shots, have the ball in your hands. I saw after a foul, you're saying easy call to the other team. Like you're getting in, a little chippy. Like this seemed like your kind of game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I just came in with the mindset to be aggressive, and I mean, I really want to win the championship. We all do, and we knew that that's what it was going to take. That competitiveness. I got to be able to keep my emotions a little bit more under control because they almost called a tech a couple times. But I won't hurt the team. I'll make sure I don't do that again.
Your aggressiveness today, though, when your team needed it, just to want to take those shots and want to have the ball in your hands. I mean, just what is that about your game that a game like this you just really love?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes our bigs are going to struggle and we're going to have to play a little bit more pick and roll. And to be honest, I feel like every time I'm in the pick and roll, something positive happens. And I know I have the ability to do that. So I'm confident that when the coaches put me in that position to, be in control of the game and play my game, I can make an impact. And these guys try to go under over and over again. I didn't want to shoot it every time, but I know I work on those shots, so I knew I could make them.
6 turnovers last night for you. You come back only 2 tonight, but you have 7 assists. I mean, that's 15 assists in the last 2 games. You said you want to make these guys' lives easier. How do you feel like you've been doing that?
Yeah, I mean, just setting them up. It's true. Yesterday I had 6 turnovers, but those turnovers were very avoidable. You know what I mean? The ball just slipped out of my hands. It's not like I was trying to make a crazy pass or anything. And maybe my level of focus wasn't as high as it needed to be. So obviously that was something on my head, like can't turn the ball over that much. But yeah, I mean, just playing with guys like Tyson, Omar, JB stepped up huge today. I just try to put them in positions where they can be successful. And Andrew didn't make his shots today, but the way he shoots it, he just got his misses out the way. He'll make them tomorrow.
What can you say about Javan Buchanan, man? 28 points, and he just took over the game there in the second half.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the way he played today, he won that game for us, definitely. And I just like the way he just kept being aggressive the whole game. He posted up a 7-footer 2 times over there.
Back to back, I think.
Back to back, and I was like, damn, this guy's really good. But yeah, I really liked his aggressiveness. He missed shots, and then he just took the next one and made them. So huge game for him.
And the freshman Julian, man, stepping up with 13. He hit a couple huge threes, put you up there with the corner 3 with 2 minutes left too.
Yeah, I mean, Jules, kind of the same as me. He started off, I don't know if he was 0 for 7 on the season, and in this tournament he started making them. But I mean, we know he can do that. Everybody who's watching play in high school know he's a great shooter. So if he's in the game, it's for a reason.
And as a team, 12 3-pointers. That's been a talking point too. The team as a whole has struggled. 12 3-pointers tonight. You guys hit some big ones.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game too. Like, we got a group of great shooters, and we know we're going to make them eventually. So good thing that they went in today.
What were you thinking when he goes to the line there? Coach Rice calls the timeout. You got one free throw left. Take us through that for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's a freshman. He played a good game, but I think the timeout was a great call because you kind of ice him a little bit after he makes that first one. And yeah, I mean, the moment was a little bit too big for him. But he's a good player. He'll most definitely make some big shots for them throughout the season.
And you take a sigh of relief. You get to go back, relax a little bit. You get a few extra hours. You won't know who you're playing until about 9:30, 10 o'clock tonight. But playing for a championship tomorrow, what's it feeling like?
Man, it feels amazing. We really, really want to win this game and win this championship. I've never done this before, so I'm super excited for the opportunity.
Well, good luck to you, man. Get it done. Get some rest, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alvaro Cardenas, appreciate him for joining us. Boise State again playing for the championship of the Cayman Islands Classic tomorrow night. That game will be at 7:30 here in the Cayman Islands, at 5:30 back in Boise. We'll find out if they're playing Missouri State or if they're playing Boston College. That game is coming up, but unbelievable finish. And again, Javan Buchanan just taking over down the stretch. Some huge shots. The spin move there, that put Boise State up 59-57 with 13 minutes to go. Buchanan again on the great pass from Tyson Degenhardt. That gave Boise State the lead, 67-65, I think, at that point. And again, this kid was in the NAIA last year. Give Leon Rice, Boise State, some credit going and finding him. Javan Buchanan there with the drive. Great shot there. And again, it all came down to the final free throw. 1.1 seconds on the clock. It misses. And we can show that 20 times if you guys want. I'm sure you'll love seeing that. Boise State takes down South Dakota State. We bring in our man, Abe Jackson. Forgot how tall you were there, Abe. There we go. Abe Jackson joined us. The Keene family's happy heading out after that was a weak foul call on RJ. But Boise State, 83. South Dakota State, 82. You just got done on the radio call there, Abe Jackson on 670 KBOI. And after you had to stall the extra 15, 20 minutes, I was thinking of you during that part. I mean,
55-minute pregame show solo. You know how deep I went into the stats?
I saw you looking at your laptop while you were talking at one point. I just felt so bad for you.
Man.
If only I could have been over there to help you out.
It's rough being by yourself. But, I've always had respect for Bob, but, having more for him, he probably did solo games a ton during his career.
It made up for it with the finish in the game.
That was nice.
That was two high-level teams.
Yeah.
They're much better than 150th.
They have to be
when
the favorites in their conference.
Yes.
They have to be. They have to. Those guards are young and they're strong and quick, and they were making tough shots. At one point, South Dakota State in the middle of the second half was shooting 58%, and I'll bet about 4 or 5 of the shots they made were challenge fadeaways. So they're a very tough team, especially when you throw in Clough at 6'11" and his size.
And like you said, there was one where Andrew Meadow literally had his hand right in his face. I don't know what else he could have done.
Nothing. Sometimes the offense is just better than the defense.
Well, I mean, the second half, though, the back and forth, I mean, the whole game really, but in the second half when it started to get serious, the back and forth, blow for blow, I mean, I know the crowd wasn't great or whatever, but it felt like an NCAA tournament type game. Just an important game on the schedule for both teams. Would have been a massive win for them if they would have got it. Boise State really needed it to avoid, obviously, what some would call a bad loss and want to have a chance to win the championship tomorrow. But it just both teams wanted it so bad, and I thought the intensity was super high.
It was high. And what was really nice to see is just, like you said, shot for shot. It wasn't that it was kind of bad basketball that just led to a 1-point win by the Broncos. It was the Jackrabbits hit a shot, and then they come down and Buchanan makes a shot, and then the other way, and then Bowie, he had a perfect game. He didn't miss a shot. 4 for 4, made all of his free throws, had 13 points, and had a huge 3 down there that gave the Broncos a 3-point lead in the corner, and it was off of great ball movement. The ball went inside, then it was a kick out and a couple swings around the 3-point line to find Bowie open. So just shot for shot. This was a fantastic game, and like I was saying to Coach Rice over there, said some shots, some games come down to 3-pointers, some to 2, and some to a free throw that just hangs on the rim and falls your way.
What'd you make of him calling time out there to ice him?
Sure. I mean, you got him. You got the timeout. That was only not only to ice it. Did he bring that up with you too?
He did.
He?
Football kicker.
Because I didn't. It was the same for me. I forgot to bring it up. We're done with the stats, and he goes, "Hey, how about that timeout I took? And I was like, okay, yeah, that's a good timeout. Good. But, get them out of the rhythm a little bit. You have the timeouts. It also allows you to drop a play on a make that you can go down and try and do something in 1.1 seconds. But free throw ends up missing. Buchanan gets the rebound, and Broncos in the championship game.
Derek Morales says he was living and dying on every word from Abe down the stretch. Perry says, listen to Abe on the radio. Great call, Abe.
Awesome.
Great call. Enjoyed it. The description of action parlayed with my highlights were perfect. And then Abe was getting pretty intense the last 4 or 5 minutes. Were you getting into it a little bit?
I mean, you kind of have to, right? I mean, when every play, the game can hinge on it going either direction. But, also I appreciate everybody that made a comment here, BJ, on your live show about listening to the call, because sometimes you don't know if it's only my parents.
No, there was a lot of people listening to you. They didn't want to pay the $20, $30 to go watch it on Flow Sports. But Javan Buchanan, Abe, 28 points. Took over down the stretch, some huge moves. I mean, he's not even a starter. I had said this earlier in the show, but I'm not sure if I should say this or not, but oh well. The Boston College coaches were sitting right here. They looked over at me at one point and said, where did Boise State find this guy? I said, NAIA, and they both kind of dropped their jaws like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about what this dude was doing last year in the NAIA level to go for 28 points and to literally take over that game down the stretch with some huge buckets. I mean, Boise State has a star, and you had him to Degenhart and Stanley and Cardenas and these guys. I mean, this is you're not going to get 28 from him every game, but he looks like, I mean, he changes the look of this team when he's producing like that.
Well, and what's pretty cool is that he started off 0 for 2. His first 2 shots were 3-pointers, and he missed them. So he went 11 of 17 for the game. So after his first 2 shots, he went 11 of 15 the rest of the way. And what I like is it was a big-time veteran move for a guy that's played some college basketball, but not at this level.
Yeah.
You go 0 of 2 from 3, and you decide, well, that might not be falling right now. How do I change it up?
Yes.
His next 2 buckets were back downs on Clough inside that he finished with his left hand. Now you see the ball going through the hoop, step back and knock down some more of those threes. I think it was a very intelligent and just very high-level game from Javan Buchanan today.
And his dad is watching, John Buchanan. He says, Javan's dad here, great win. Hopefully you saw earlier in the show when we had your son on, sir. If not, go back and watch it when we're done here, because it was a great interview and love chatting with him. And you're right, on that one possession, 2 missed threes on the same possession. They get another offensive rebound, and then he backs the guy down and scores. Next possession does it again. I thought he was huge. A minute, 5 seconds to go. Great feed from Tyson, I think. He gets the layup. He was massive. And I've said this stat a couple times, but the first 15 points of the game were the 3 transfers, Cardenas, Anderson, and who I missed, Buchanan. And then the first 25, when you throw in Julian Bowie, were either freshmen or those 3 transfers. Yeah. And it was 36-33. Stanley hadn't scored, Meadow hadn't scored, and Tyson had 2 points. You'd be thinking, they got to be down 15. Yeah. Well, and they're up by 3.
And in years past, you were going to be down, right? Because there wasn't this bench. There was 1, maybe 2 guys who would come off and could give you a good game. But when your top 3 scorers are having maybe their worst offensive game of the year on the same game, you got to find it somewhere else. And it was Buchanan, it was Bowie. And let's talk a minute about Alvaro Cardenas. We all knew he was a better shooter than what he's been this year. He went 3 of 6 from 3 with 16 points, 7 assists, and only 2 turnovers against those guards that were very strong and quick. I think it was Cardenas' best game as a Bronco, by far Buchanan's and Bowie's. And so when you have 3 guys who give you their best game of the season to offset 3 guys who might be their worst offensive game of the season, that's how you still put up 83 points.
And I thought for the second game in a row, Dylan Anderson actually played pretty well. It was just a bad matchup for him with them going with some of the smaller, quicker players.
Yeah, I think Dylan Anderson is going to be playing time with the matchups, but I also think that he's going to stay in the starting lineup. I could see Javan Buchanan finding that role as a 6th man on the bench. Really, and someone who just embraces that and knows that when he comes in there, he's probably going to end up playing just as much minutes as a starter. But to have that type of offensive potency off the bench and not from one of your starters, huge plus for the Broncos.
Only 9 turnovers for Boise State. They had 20 assists on 29 field goals. They look at the stats here. They win the rebounding battle 36-35. But again, we talked about it on the pregame show, 13 of 14 from the free throw line, and South Dakota State only goes 18 of 25. Yep. I mean, once again, a game came down to free throws. They missed a couple key 1-and-1s. Yep. They went 1 for 2. And then Boise State, Degenhart in particular, hit his. And free throw line was another determining factor tonight.
It is. I mean, so many times you can look at who wins a game in the rebound margin and the free throw shooting. And the Broncos outshoot South Dakota State. And the bench came through massive. I can't remember the last time that the Broncos got 44 points from their bench. There were times over the last couple of years where if they just got the double digits you were happy. Okay, we got 10 from our bench. All right, let's go. 44 points from the Boise State bench.
And Oscar Clough was as good as advertised. 19 points, 14 rebounds. But I thought Joe Saylor, 19 points, hit some tough shots. Kalen Gary hit some tough shots. Even Owen Larson, the guy that missed the free throw, hit a couple of shots as well. Those guards are going to be a handle there. And what is it, the Summit League?
They have to be the favorites, and I think this win now will be a win over an NCAA team because I feel like South Dakota State's going to win their conference, and they're going to go to an NCAA tournament. And so you have a neutral site court win against someone who will probably win their conference. This game's going to pay off just like the Clemson game.
You had to be here to realize if you were
how good they were.
If you were just watching on Game Tracker or something, you're thinking, "Oh, Boise State's struggling. They're struggling." Why did Boise State play great? They do every time you look up. San Jose or South Dakota State was making a crazy shot.
They made crazy shots. They have the inside presence. They have guards that are quick and strong. I think they were a strong guards. You could see them driving to the hoop and getting into the body of some of our players. And let's be honest, Boise State had to weather some bad offense from some of their players. Andrew Meadow, he has 3 points, only made 3 free throws. They were big free throws. I will say that because it tied it up again after he made those.
Yep.
Tyson Degenhart, 11 points on 3 of 8 shooting. Omar Stanley couldn't get out of foul trouble. It's just one of those games that happens sometimes during a 30, 32-game season, but this Bronco team has the ability to overcome those type of scoring days.
And another one I got to circle on my score sheet here, 12 made three-pointers in this game. I know you touched on it earlier, but for all the three-point talk, and I don't know if they're going to put these numbers up all season, but Cardenas hit 3. Julian Bowie, as he said, 3 for 3. Buchanan goes 4 of 8. Ugbo even hit a 3. That was I almost was like, okay.
Dylan Anderson started the game off.
Yep, the one over here,
6 points.
Yep. But to have 12 threes, that was a good sign to at least see they do have it in them.
Well, and especially because they didn't get to the line as much. Like all of our talking points at the beginning of the game didn't happen in this game. We talked about them getting to the line over 30 times, only making 3 or 4 threes. Well, they only got to the line 14 times. They made 13, but then they hit 12 threes. So sometimes the script just flips, and that's what happened.
Now they're playing for a championship tomorrow night.
It doesn't happen a lot in your basketball career that you have a chance to play for something called a championship, whether it's regular season or your conference tournament or a scenario like this where it's a holiday tournament. Anytime that you have a chance to play for a championship, it's something special. You're going to get some hardware if you win. You're going to get some all-conference players on your team. It's going to be some highlights for these guys out of this season. And so coming out here and getting to win either Missouri State or Boston College. Could be a second win over an ACC team this year. That'd be nice.
I know a lot of people in the chat are wanting to play Boston College to get them back for the bowl game that got canceled in the first quarter because of lightning. Remember the first responder bowl way back in 2018? They could get another chance at Boston College. They're a solid team. They're 130. I think I saw at Ken Palm, so that'd be a quad 2 game. I will say this, though. I think the tournament's screwed up. That should be the game that's getting ready to start.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Boise State's going to have to wait till 10 o'clock to see who they play and then break down film. Now they are going to have pretty much all day tomorrow. As the game starts at 7:30.
Well, even for those two teams, they're not going to get out of here till 10:30, 11 o'clock tonight.
We've got a bad draw on tournament games a lot. I like where we are. We'll take the early games. Give someone else some of that late rest.
This is the High Point. This is High Point and Old Dominion, I believe, in this game that's coming up in 25 minutes. Final thing for you, Abe, just as we said, 2-0. I'm not even going to say today was a non-pretty win. Like I thought Boise State played good. I thought today was a great game. But again, from a scoring perspective, maybe not the 2 games that fans thought they'd see coming down here to get to the championship game. But you're in the championship, as you said, a chance to hoist a trophy, a chance to only stay with 1 loss on the season and keep this momentum rolling. I think it would extend the winning streak to 5? Yeah. A lot to play for tomorrow. It's going to be, as we said, today, going to be fun for those players, fans, coaches, whoever waking up tomorrow playing for a title.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. And the first game, it was carried by your starters. The second game was carried by your bench. It just these 2 games really encompass what we felt like this team was going to be with the depth of the bench and multiple different guys who can give you huge games. Yesterday starters, today your bench, tomorrow maybe both. Maybe they score 120 tomorrow and they have both of them go in.
Well, the offense certainly hasn't been the problem for Boise State. 83 points again. Abe Jackson, he'll be on the call tomorrow for the championship game. That'll be 5 o'clock pregame on 670 KBOI, 5:30, the tip-off of the championship game. Probably going to be delayed again. You better have some more material, though. There's a third-place game right before
I'm going to add about 7 more bullet points if I have to do another hour pregame.
Can't wait to hear more about that off the air. But great job, Abe. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, man.
Again, 5 o'clock tomorrow, Abe will have the broadcast, the pregame show, the game broadcast. Boise State playing for the championship of the Cayman Islands Classic after a win over South Dakota State. We got some highlights we're going to play. I do want to thank some of our sponsors real quick. Western Collective, the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the Orange Chaos Seltzer. Make sure you pick them up at the brewery downtown, Albertson Stadium. Get them at the Extra Mile Arena. Portion of that money goes back to the Horseshoe Collective. Support our studio sponsor, Western Collective. Western Collective. Rowpaint.com, our title sponsor. There would be no B&N without rowpaint.com. So check them out, rowpaint.com. Those concrete coatings, interior, exterior painting, all your painting needs. Check them out, rowpaint.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking. Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Number 1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. We bought and sold our home using Matt. So appreciative and thankful we did. You'll be tremendously happy with the service as well at BauscherRealEstate.com. I want to respond to some of these comments here in just a second. I'm seeing ShopRidleys.com, Ridley's Family Markets. ShopRidleys.com. If you're looking for a hometown grocery store, I highly recommend our friends over at Ridley's Family Markets. Find a location near you at ShopRidleys.com. Snake River Pool and Spa, Patio and Game, thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team. Whether it's a sauna, a pool table, a spa, they got you covered at thespateam.com. And Lithia Ford of Boise, LithiaFordBoise.com. All-wheel drive season is coming. Weather is turning. You need to make sure you get those vehicles, four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. Make sure you're ready at Lithia Ford of Boise. They've got you covered with the vehicles like the F-150, like the Raines family has. View their full inventory of vehicles online at LithiaFordBoise.com and check them out, Lithia Ford Boise. We're back on the postgame show. Let's check out some highlights from this one. Boise State, the visiting team on the scoreboard wearing blue, started out early. Alvaro Cardenas and one early in the game. Nice take for Alvaro Cardenas. That tied the game at 3. Now Cardenas finds Dylan Anderson for the pick and pop, and he hits the 3. Dylan Anderson connects from downtown, and that gave Boise State an early lead. Andrew Meadow finds Anderson in the post. Yeah, he can shoot from the outside and the inside. Another nice move from Dylan Anderson. That put Boise State up 8-7 at this point. Cardenas pops back. Oh, yeah, he hits the 3. That made it 11-9 at Boise State. Originally, it was ruled a 2, but they checked it and gave him the extra point and made it 3. Javan Buchanan, this is right after he had just missed 2 threes. We were talking about it. The left hand over the 6'11" Clough. Nice drive there. So why not? Very next possession. Do it again. Same guy, same result. The left-handed layup is good. And Boise State goes up 20-18 at this point. R.J. Keene kicks it out. There's Buchanan. The 3, he hits it. And Boise State takes a 25-18 lead at this point in the game. They were looking good. South Dakota State kept coming back, but Emmanuel Ugbo, he says, hey, I want in on this three-point party. He connects from downtown as well. Boise State up 28-22. Now Keene finds Tyson Degenhardt, his first bucket of the game. That put Boise State up 30-22 with 7:59 to go. Andrew Meadow, the fake, hits it in the corner to Julian Bowie. He connects from downtown, 33-25 Broncos. Pretty impressive there. And then the second half, it was all our man Javan Buchanan. He scores on the up and under here. The game is 57-57 at this point. He scores, big bucket, puts him in the lead there. Nice feed there from Degenhardt. That was a big bucket. Put Boise State up 68-65 with 8:45 to go. And here we go with a minute to go. Buchanan fakes the 3, drives on Clough, and scores on the layup. And that puts Boise State up 81-78. All came down to this one free throw, and it rims off. And, man, you feel so bad for Owen Larson. He had a great game, 9 points, but couldn't get the 10th. He misses the free throw, and Boise State hangs on to win the game 83-82, your final in a dramatic finish. And I'll just say this, say all you want, and there's a lot of comments in there about the Ken Pom numbers dropping and all that. That doesn't matter. That team's not going to be 150th at Ken Pom. I'm sure they already jumped up a nice spot already. So if we click on South Dakota State, they're already up to 138. So it's basically going to be a quad 2 win. They're going to roll through their schedule. You look at their Ken Pom number, they're only supposed to lose like 3 or 4 more games the rest of the season. So that is not going to be a bad game for Boise State to have on its resume that they beat South Dakota State. That is going to be a nice win. That was the one thing you worried about when you came down here, was just having the numbers dip. But again, they're 43 right now. They started the season at 47, so they're fine. The numbers are still ahead of where they were when the season started. Would you love to come out and blast Boston College by 35 tomorrow in the championship? Sure, you definitely would. But win the games and it'll all sort itself out. Boise State will probably be, 7, 8, 9 point favorite over whoever they play, Missouri State or Boston College, maybe 7 or 8 points. So if you win big, that's great. But I'm not too worried about the Ken Pom numbers from that one. You just need to win the game, and that's what they found a way to do. Super impressive game. The bench, 44 points from the bench, as I said. They hit 12 three-pointers, 13 of 14 from the foul line. Just super impressive. You had 28 points from Buchanan, 16 for Alvaro Cardenas. He got going shooting the ball well. Buchanan and Cardenas were our 2-player interviews at the beginning of the show. If you got in late, you can go back and hear from Buchanan and Cardenas. 11 points from Tyson Degenhart. Only 4 from Omar Stanley tonight. Battled foul trouble yet again. Only played 13 minutes, had 4 fouls. It says personal fouls, so I guess he fouled out with 5. So got to find a way to keep Omar Stanley on the court. He only had 4 points, but 28 points for Javan Buchanan is the story. Julian Bowie had 13. Played 24 minutes. Big boy game for the freshman. 4 for 4 from the field. 3 for 3 from three-point range. You can just go down the line. There's a lot of stats to like here, folks. R.J. Keene had another impressive 18 minutes helping out. Had 4 rebounds, 3 assists for Keene. He played well. So overall, just a super impressive game, super impressive win for Boise State. And I know the numbers didn't love it. I know if you didn't watch this game, you think I'm just blowing smoke up your rear about South Dakota State, but they hit some really good shots. They are a good team. South Dakota State is a good team, and Boise State is going to have that as a nice win on their resume come the end of the season. Boise State played great. I mean, they played good, and it was 83-82. So I was very impressed with Boise State, and it was a lot of fun. Covering this game was a lot of fun. Back and forth, just the teams trading body blows there, and it was a big-time feel, and you got a little nervous for Boise State thinking, man, this would be not a game you'd love to lose, even though I don't think it'll end up being, it would have been a bad loss, but you find a way to win it, and you move on to the championship game, and again, the final free throw, Owen Larson went 4 of 6 from the free throw line. He was 4 of 5 before this. It rims off, time runs out, and you feel for Owen Larson, but Boise State, the fans loving it, players loving it, the Broncos hang on for an 83-82 win, and they will head to the championship game of the Cayman Islands Classic coming up at 5:30 Mountain Time tomorrow against either Missouri State or Boston College. I think Boston College would be the better matchup, the better computer numbers, the better name opponent, I guess, to beat in the tournament if you can play Boston College tomorrow night. That game is not till 5:30 tonight, so you'll have to wait a while to find out who Boise State is playing against in this one. I'm going to get back and write a story. Spencer Danielson, the coaches, they are finishing up speaking to the media right now. Jaden Finch is at the press conference. We will post Spencer Danielson, Dirk Cutter, and Eric Chenander to the YouTube channel shortly, so you can check on back in a little bit. We appreciate you for watching us live and then watching that later. I think you made the right choice. But we'll get Spencer. Apparently somebody told me I got a shout-out from Spencer Danielson before Jesus did. That might be the upset of all upsets. Mentioned something about me being in the Cayman Islands, but I got to find video proof of that to make sure that was true. But awesome day. Boise State gets the win. Going to go back and write a story. The work is not done for Bronco Nation News. Again, we're going to post the video of Spencer Danielson and company. You can go listen to that. Get some football talk today. And then we will have a story at BroncoNationNews.com from this game. We'll get more highlights posted. I got about a 5-6 minute highlight package. I got some more highlights from the second half that I couldn't get posted. I'll get those posted as well. So a full highlight package, a full story, a lot to get to. from this game, we'll head back to the hotel and get a story written, get some stuff, trying to fire up the laptop. And been a long day already, but we'll keep it going. So I hope you can subscribe. BNN 50 deal, $50. BNN 50 deal gets you a 1-year subscription to BroncoNationNews.com. You can read my stories. You can read Mike Prater's stories. You can read Nathan Carroll, all of our great work. You get a daily email, access to some exclusive content. So if you can help us out with the travel costs and things for being down here at the Cayman Islands, we really appreciate it. $50 gets you a full year for BNN 50 deal promo code. And again, when we get to the private jet trip for 2, all yearly paying subscribers are eligible. You got to be a yearly paying subscriber, and you will be eligible to win a trip for 2 on a private jet to a road game of our choice. We're going to pick the game. We'll let you know. But a Boise State road game is going to be where we're taking our winner on the trip for 2 on the private jet, but you got to be a yearly subscriber at BroncoNationNews.com. So appreciate you guys for your time. Thank you for watching 48 minutes. Thank you to Javan Buchanan. Thank you to Alvaro Cardenas. Thank you to Leon Rice. Thank you to Abe Jackson. All of our great We're back. I'm not done quite yet. Something happened there on that. I'm not quite sure what that was, but we got a couple more sponsors we want to thank as we roll along here. Make sure you check out Taco Bell, TacoBellWorks.com. SON Management, the Nicolason family, they're hiring. Check them out, TacoBellWorks.com if you need a job. Taco Bell and TacoBellWorks.com. TCS Transportation Compliance Service, they're hiring as well. They'll help you get into the trucking industry if you're looking for a new career change. All the permits and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out at transcomservice.com. If you need some new Ashton Genty gear, they got it for you at the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Ashton Genty gear. Sweatshirt right there looks legit. They got all kinds of gear in the front of the store, a couple racks. You can also order online at theblueandorangestore.com. Get your Ashton Genty gear online, theblueandorangestore.com. And would have got it today if this were January, but you don't get it quite yet. The 70 points means a hot dog and a soda for $2 at Jackson's coming up during January and February games. But tomorrow, you do get the Breezy Bundle for $1. Hot dog and a soda for $1. The Breezy Bundle with Breezy Dubar finding the end zone the other day against Wyoming. So make sure you get out to Jackson's, use Let's Go Rewards, and you get a fountain drink and a hot dog tomorrow for $1. Speaking of food, check out Lean Feast, leanfeastmeridian.com. They got all kinds of combinations, 10,000 of them to be exact. All different diets, all different options. Steak, shrimp, chicken, fish. Leanfeastmeridian.com. Make sure you check them out. And we may need to fire up the voicemails for the championship game tomorrow night. Speakpipe.com/BNN. You can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the postgame shows. We'll play it on the morning shows. And we will play those whenever you send us one. So speakpipe.com/BNN. That's sponsored by MySignatureRoofing.com and our friends at Signature Roofing. Been covering our community for more than 2 decades. A locally owned roofing company. Whether it's re-roofs, repairs, inspections, free estimates, they can do it all. They got an NIL deal with RJ Keene. He's going to be providing content for us all year long. Support the sponsors, folks, like My Signature Roofing and MySignatureRoofing.com. So we got a big day tomorrow. We got the college football playoff rankings coming out. We got Boise State playing in the championship game around the same time in the Cayman Islands Classic. We will start your day at 9 a.m. tomorrow Mountain Time with Jay Tuss and myself. I'll be here in the Cayman Islands. Jay is back in Boise. 9 a.m. tomorrow. Bronco Nation News Live, our typical normal 45-minute morning show will be tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And they'll have the live pregame show about 4:30. 4:30 Mountain Time with the pregame show for the title game. And while we're on the air for the pregame show, we'll be able to give you the college football rankings and talk about those for the college football playoff ranking show. So, Mr. Buchanan, appreciate that. He's going to join for the 50, so thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate everybody that can step it up. We'd love to have your support. And we're going to have 3 live shows tomorrow. Morning show at 9 a.m. with Jay Tust. Pregame show at 4:30. Postgame show after the championship game. We'll get some footage from the trophy ceremony and everything, assuming Boise State can win it. But the Broncos, for the first time in the Leon Rice era, trying to win a championship in a preseason tournament. They'll do it tomorrow night against Missouri State or Boston College. We'll have the coverage for you at Bronco Nation News. Again, I'm headed home to write a story. We're back to the hotel. Full story, full highlight package. Plenty more content to come. So subscribers can check BroncoNationNews.com in a couple hours. You can check our YouTube channel for those highlights. And kick off your game day tomorrow, Championship Tuesday. The Broncos heading for a championship in the Cayman Islands Classic, trying to improve to 6-1 on the season. We'll kick it off at 9 a.m. with Jay Tust and myself. So appreciate everybody. Go support the sponsors. Go subscribe if you can. Have a great rest of your evening. Go check the website. Go subscribe. And we'll see you at 9 a.m. with Jay Tust. Bronco Nation News Live. Bronco Nation News live from the Cayman Islands. Bronco Nation News.